Yeah, I was just watching this one video I made 2 months ago when one of my friends passed away, and I was like, man, let me give us some insight into my life. Maybe it'll hit somebody, some way, some form, make them improve themselves. See, growing up, man, life was good. Then I get to, the teenage years, get a job, right? I'm working 48 hours a week in high school. I get out of school at 2:15. I'm at work at 3, and I work till 11, 6 days a week, right? Then I started hanging out with them folks at work, smoking weed, you know, led to other things. Led me down a dark path, dark enough that I called a Marine recruiter. One of the questions he asked me was, when was the last time I smoked weed? I told him I'm high right now. So for a week straight, he took me for a drug test, and he had me drink a ton of water, put me in saunas, had me running mile after mile after mile. I go take the ASVAB test, scored 99. He's like, yo, what do you want to do? You want to do intelligence O2? I was like, hell yeah, I want to be O2 intelligence. I want to be in Quantico. I want to be, somewhat close to home. So this week-long drug test, and I failed 6 times in a row. 7th time I passed. Next day, find myself at MEPS taking a drug test, and I failed. So I have to now wait 6 months before I can go into the Marines. During the 6 months, I went and I wasn't going to school no more. I had gone to college. I did 1 semester in Maryland, 1 semester at a community college, and a summer session. And I think I started the fall session. I'm not sure. Definitely didn't go to the spring because at that point I was set on the Marines. I went to boot camp in May. The 6 months, go back 6 months from May. But what I did do was get that second job, so that I was working all the time and couldn't get into any trouble. So 6 months passes, go take my drug test, boom, clean. I've been clean for 6 months because I knew that this was the right way, right path that I needed to be going down. The path I was headed was your typical, you're gonna end up in jail, dead, whatever, I ain't wanna be a statistic. So I went ahead, went through boot camp at Parris Island, South Carolina, in the middle of summer. Black flag conditions damn near every day. That means it's hot as hell. And to me, it was like summer camp, man. I learned so much, and it took the first time seeing the drill instructor when he's all up in your face yelling, da-da! And then he turns his back, and when he turns his back, they always do this, cover their mouth when they turn their back. You know why? Because they're laughing, because they're human. Once I realized that shit was summer camp, Got through them 4 years, went ahead, got my, what did it take? Less than a year to get the job I still currently have today. Bought a house, got married, had 2 kids, and got divorced. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother video. If you want to hear that, man, it's unbelievable. what I went through. And I mean, you take it with a grain of salt. If I do the video, and if you choose to watch it, that is coming from my perspective, you know. However, I do have screenshots of all the texts that back up everything I say regarding that situation. That's what happens when you get lawyers and stuff involved. Like, you make sure you have everything documented, you know. Text message is a good way to have it documented. But yeah. So I mean, it just goes to show that you could be headed down the wrong road. You could be on that road going fast, cause I sure as hell was. I mean, like, I was up here, and then it was just like a nosedive. But then that realization came. The better my life came. And boom, we back on top. Get knocked back down again. What you do when you get knocked down? You get back up. When you get back up, that's when you know you learn. You move on, and you handle your business, and you're a better person for it. You know, so just no matter what you're going through, like, I know what I went through doesn't compare to a lot of people. I know a lot of people don't compare to what I went through. But to each person is important, you know? So just be mindful of that, you know? And take steps to improve yourself every day, you know? You might slip up and fall along the route, but all you gotta do is pick yourself up, learn from what you did to slip up. Don't repeat it, and keep going. Now, there's a song, I want to give a shout out to my man Hobson, Illmind 8. A lot of y'all might be familiar with Illmind 5 and stuff like that, but Illmind 8, the very end, he has a quote from Joel Osteen. And Joel Osteen's on the track, but they, you know, distorted his voice and all that stuff. But basically, the people in your life, what he was saying in there, they're not necessarily meant to be in your life forever. You know, you need to constantly evaluate who's in your life, what they bring to your life, what they're taking from you. You know, 5 years from now, they might not be in your life. They might be an important part of your life, you know? You just gotta constantly evaluate this stuff so that one day, you know, everything will be good, even if it's bad. And for the most part, I feel as though I've reached that point. Like, I have people that tell me all the time, like, you know, damn, like, she's doing this and that to you, referring to my ex-wife. And I'm like, yeah. And they get all pissed off and this and that. And I'm like, look, it is what it is. I'll shake it off. She can keep being the person she is. And I'll keep being the person I am. You know, I'm not going to turn my back because she's the mother of my children. You know, I'm going to be there for her as long as it involves my children. Yeah, that's all we getting into for right now with that situation. But just keeping your head up, like my man Tupac said back in the day, man. I wish he was still alive. I was holding out hope for 7 years. Where you at, Pac, man? We need you. Peace out. Need to cut my nails, goddamn.